is about finasteride and dutasteride and possibilities that those drugs can be banned in the European market. And what is the latest news that you possibly have heard about is that the European Medical Agency is reviewing safety profile for finasteride and dutasteride and similar anti-androgen drugs. And possible outcome of this review can be that those drugs can be banned in the European market. And this is a huge concern for everyone who has male pattern baldness or androgenic alopecia or is taking finasteride, for example, like I do. I have been taking finasteride myself since 2008. So in this video, I want to talk about possible outcomes of this kind of review and possible solutions. I'm not going to talk about details and side effect profile and why they are actually reviewing those drugs, but you can easily search it up yourself. But I want to talk about outcomes and solutions to this review. And when it comes to possible outcomes, so what can happen in the best case scenario is that they review finasteride and dutasteride and they don't find anything wrong there and we continue as before. So that would be best possible outcome here. Other possible outcome is that they review those drugs and then they add additional warning basically regarding side effect profile, and that's something that happened in the US, and basically everything else continues before. Other possible outcome is that there can be restrictions of who can get prescription for finasteride and dutasteride, for example, in terms of age group, in terms of specific medical conditions that are required for prescription. That could be possible outcome of this kind of review. And then worst possible outcome, of course, would be if there is a ban for finasteride and dutasteride and similar anti-androgen drugs in the European market. So that would basically be a worst possible outcome we can experience here. And when it comes to possible solutions to those different outcomes, so one possibility, let's say, for example, if there is restrictions to who can buy finasteride and dutasteride, then one possibility, of course, is just to travel outside the European Union and buy it, for example, in the United Kingdom or Turkey, for example, and take it back to home country. That could be a possible way to address this problem. And some of you may say that why not just book it up with finasteride and dutasteride beforehand? But the problem with it is that there is limitations on quantity, how much medication you actually can get in prescription, and also validity of prescription is also limited. And additionally, there is also expiring date for medication as well, right? Usually expiring date is around 1.5 to 2 years from manufacturing date, right? So this is something that we also need to be aware of. And I did mistake regarding taking expired finasteride myself in 2020. And what happened is that I was taking finasteride and I was taking expired version of it, and it didn't have the same effect anymore, and I had a hair shedding because of it. So that's not the ideal option here. And if there is actually a ban on finasteride and dutasteride, so what could be possibly outcome here is that we can, for example, be in a situation where they ban oral version of finasteride and dutasteride, but the topical version is still available and accessible. So this is something that happened, something similar that happened to ketoconazole back in 2013 in the European market. So basically what happened is that the European market, like a medical agency, reviewed ketoconazole and they banned oral version of it, right? So it's not available anymore in the European market, but one can still easily get access to a topical version in form of shampoo, for example, of ketoconazole. And that could be possibly a possible outcome here as well, right? So for example, that oral version is banned, but topical version is still accessible. Other possible outcome here is that if, for example, also all types of finasteride and dutasteride is banned, then possibility would be to switch to other topical anti-androgens, for example, Spiractol, for example, RU58, right? So basically just find a substitute for them. And that all being said, like what I basically would suggest, and I find it most important here, is to actually work on DHT sensitivity itself, because if you are getting less DHT sensitive, then you need to basically become less aggressive on approaching DHT, and also you don't need to use that strong anti-androgens to keep the hair, right? So basically working on your lifestyle, working your diet, working your environment can help you to reduce DHT sensitivity, which can help you to basically become less dependent on those drugs, and you can have, for example, a more mild approach to DHT. So this is my take on it, and if you have basically any questions, anything you want to add to it, feel free to make a comment below, and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching this video, and see you next one.